live today. So happy to be here. I am Angela Petrilli, here doing another live episode of the Riff Rundown with the awesome folks at Fishman. So happy to be back. Hope you guys are doing well. Today we are going to be learning Plush Acoustic by the awesome Stone Temple Pilots. Yes. Gotta love those DeLeo brothers and Scott Weiland. Good stuff here. So we're going to be going through that song today. All of the parts are going to be doing it acoustic, just as we did last week. This song is in the same tuning as Hey Hey My My. So here's what we're going to do. Before I get started and show you guys how the song goes, I want you guys tuned to the tuning that I am in. So here's what I want you to do. E string down to D, your A string down to G, D string down to C, G string down to F, okay, your B string down to A, and your E string down to D. So we are tuned down a whole step for this lesson, okay? So get your guitars tuned up. It's in the show notes too, so those of you who miss it, you could just click and it's all down there too. So let's go ahead and get started. This is Plush. That is the tune that we are going to be learning today. This is a super fun one. As always, before we get started, folks, please let me know where you're tuning in from and your favorite 90s band. This is one of my favorite 90s bands. I want to know yours. What are some of your favorite 90s bands? So, before we get started here, we are tuned down a whole step. This version that I am teaching today is from the version that you'll hear on Thank You, the live acoustic version, okay? And it runs about 3 minutes, 42 seconds, so it's a little bit shorter than the one you'll hear with like the full guitars and all that good stuff. So, tune down a whole step. The tuning is D, G, C, F, A, D. So those of you guys who are here now, and there are gonna be folks coming in a little later, hey, what tuning is she in? I would love it if you guys let them know that we are tuned down a whole step. So let them know, really appreciate that. Thank you all so much. So let's go ahead and get started here. I am going to be calling all of the chords to keep things nice and clear, and I do want to preface with this. To keep things nice and clear, I am going to be calling the chords as if we were in standard tuning. Yes, are we tuned down a whole step? We are. But to keep things nice and crystal clear, I'm going to call these chords as if we were in standard tuning. So the true nature of the chord, you just tune it down, right? You just go back a whole step, and that is going to be the true nature of the chord, all right? So again, thank you all so much for tuning in. Gosh, we got Hollywood, we got Colorado, we got Florida. Love it. Rhode Island. Thank you all so much for being here. So let's go ahead and get started. So let's talk about this intro. Super iconic bit. Gotta love Dean DeLeo with this awesome riff. So fun. So let's go ahead and do this here. What you're gonna do is we're gonna use, at least the way I like to play it, second and third finger, okay? So you're gonna place your second finger on that third fret of the B string, that would be D, okay? And then your third finger, go ahead and place that on the third fret of the E string, that would be G, okay? So when we go ahead and strum this, It's a G chord, okay? So this is gonna be our G chord. We're playing, we've got all the notes we need to make them, okay? So, and you're gonna give me 2 good strums there. And we're just gonna focus, right? Let's do the bottom 4 strings. The open D string, G string, B string, and E string. Just like that, all right? So again, super simple 2 downward strums. Now we're gonna go to this chord. It's wacky, right? So what we're gonna do here, so those of you, right, who've been playing a long time, we know how a D7 goes, right? But what we're gonna do here is we're gonna slide that up a half step. That's the chord we're using. So this is gonna be an E flat 7. Okay, so that's the shape. It's the same shape as our D7 chord, but just slide it up a half step, like that, okay? So how we do this shape, it looks like a triangle, okay? So your first finger, think of it as the top of the triangle. That first finger is gonna go on the 2nd fret of that B string, right? So like that C sharp note. We're gonna get your 2nd finger, place that on the 3rd fret of the G string. This would be, right? It would be B flat. Okay, so then your 3rd finger, go ahead and place down on the 3rd fret of the E string. That would be G, okay? And you're just gonna strum it like that. So you've got the top of the triangle here with your 1st finger, and then the bottom of that triangle would be your 2nd and 3rd finger, okay? So let's go ahead and go back and forth between these 2 chords here. Okay? Pretty cool, right? Cool and dissonant and weird. I just love it. So let's go ahead and do this a few times. Just like that. All right, pretty cool stuff here. So simple, right? Simple, but so effective. Dean DeLeo, I think, is one of the best guitar players to come out of that age of music. I think just the way they play their chords and the way they think about time, super inspirational. I know, to me as a player and as a listener, just really great stuff here. If you guys aren't as familiar with their work, definitely go and dive deep into the Stone Temple Pilots catalog. It's some really incredible and inspiring stuff. So there's our 2 chords there. Now what we're gonna do here, keep the 3rd finger where it is. Don't move it. Keep that 3rd finger on G, 3rd fret E string. Bring your 1st finger back to the 1st fret of the B string, this would be C, and then your 2nd finger, 2nd fret of the G string, that would be A. Okay, so this would be a D7 sus4 chord, okay? And you're gonna strum that 2 times, okay? 2 fingers, 2 times. Okay, here we go. So we're gonna do that. Let's combine all 3 chords here, folks. Okay, hear it coming together. Let's go ahead and do that again. All right, one more time for good luck. Here we go. And then what we're gonna do here, guess what? Lift your 1st and 2nd finger up. Bring them here to finish the chord, to finish this G chord. Get your 1st finger, place that on the 2nd fret of the A string, that's your B. Your 3rd finger is hitting the root G, 3rd fret of that E string. Just like that, okay? So let's put all this together. Here we go, nice and slow, and then I'll build up speed. All right, and again, folks, this is a live Q&A too, so if you guys have questions about the chords and all of that good stuff, I'm gonna answer as many as I can with the time that I have today. So here we go. There we go. Let's do that again. So that's the first bit of the riff. The next part, which is one of my favorite parts to playing this riff. which is just so fun and not too difficult to play. So let's go ahead and talk about it. So we've got that G chord that we finish right at the end of the first part of that riff. Here's what I want you to do. Downward stroke, okay? The bottom 3 strings, G, B, and D, or G, B, and E, okay? Open G string, open B string, that 3rd finger, keep it on the 3rd fret of that E string, okay? So now you're gonna get your 1st finger, place that on the C, 1st fret B string, okay? So then get your 2nd finger, placing that on the C sharp 2nd fret B string, okay? So let's do that again. Not too bad, cool and dissonant. It's awesome. So then, see how I got my 2nd finger, slid it up to the 3rd fret of that B string? I want you to do that too. Okay, so here we go. Isn't that great? And let the sustain of those notes ring. We don't want to stop any of those notes from ringing. That's what gives it such character. Okay, let's do that again. And then give it a good upstroke at the end of that. Okay, so let's do that again. And notice how you can hear my D string is ringing through some of this. That's okay. D is the 5th, right? It's the 5th note in that G chord. So it actually works to your favor here. So if that happens to you, don't worry. It's going to sound great. Okay, so here we go again. Let's do this a few more times here. Get our hands used to playing this. Very cool, kind of countryish sort of lick. It's a lot of fun. Okay, so now let's go ahead and add it to part 1. So here we go. Cool, right? Let's do that one more time. From here, what we're going to do, we're going to go back to that E flat 7. Okay, give me one good strum, make it count. To that D7 sus4. 2 strums, then back to our G. Okay, let's do this a few times here. I'm going to take this a little slower. All right, so here's the entire intro. And don't worry, we're going to be using this intro again within the song. Those of you who know the song, it comes back a lot. It's really great. So here we go. Nice and slow, then we'll build up the speed. And thanks again for tuning in, everybody. It's such a blast. So here we go. Do that again. One more time for good luck. Let's take it nice and slow. Can't play anything fast. You can't play slow. This is how we build good technique. This is how we build good technique. Let's do that again, nice and slow. All right, strum the chord. Let's go ahead and do one more time for good luck. Really, really beautiful stuff. Great stuff. So that's the intro. So if we play it fast. great. It's so, so fun to play. So that is the intro. Again, we're gonna be seeing this a couple of times in the song. So this is gonna be the only time we play it. It's so fun, I'm glad we get to play it a bunch. So, all right, folks, so now we're gonna go ahead and go into the verse. Now, there are some chords that we know that I would say are beginner level chords, and then there are some that come out of left field and you're like, oh, I don't know about that one. But don't worry, I'm gonna talk you through it. So, here is the verse. I'm going to play it to speed. We're going to go through the chords, how we build them, what notes are in them, and all of that stuff, okay? So here we go with just the verse, okay? So here it is. Get into the pre-chorus. Okay, so those are those chords. So what chords are in this verse? We have G, we have D over F sharp. I've got my thumb in this one, we'll talk about that. We have F major bar chord. I know. It's okay. We'll talk about that one too. And then we have C over E. And then we have this guy. This is the one that comes out of left field, but oh man, does it totally make this song. This is an E flat major 7 with a G in the bass. And then we go back to F. Okay, so we're gonna talk through all of these. Now, as we noticed at the back of the intro, a G chord is being played this way. And I know that's how a lot of you guys who are watching play this. It's super great to play. I think it's a really, really great way to play G. So you might be thinking, right? In the verse, she's got her pinky, or she's got her third finger down here. But it's still G. Why? Well, if we have a look at the notes that are in the key of G, so I'm going to go into a little bit of theory here because I want you guys to understand this stuff. So in the chord of G, right, we've heard 1, 3, 5. What does that mean? Well, you have all of the notes in the scale, right? And there's 7 of them. At least in the G major scale. So you pick the first note, the third note, and the fifth note, you make a delicious sandwich with those 3 notes, and you have your G major chord, okay? Because the 1, 3, 5 is the formula to make a major chord. So in the key of G, you have G, B, and D, 1, 3, 5. So those are the 3 notes that you need to make this G chord happen, okay? And they don't necessarily need to be in that order. Sometimes they're, they get jumbled up. But as long as those 3 are there, we're good. So let's talk about that and compare the notes here. So this is G that we see in the intro. Well, you have G here, 3rd fret E string. You have B here, 2nd fret A string, right? So right there are 1 and 3, done. You have your open D string, there's your 5, right? So just there, you have a G chord. But wait, there's more, right? Because we got 3 notes. So you have that open G, there's your 1 again. You have the open B string, there's your 3rd, and then you have G again, your 1. So see how we got there. We got to the 1, 3, 5. Now, if we play it this way, right, with our 3rd finger here on the 3rd fret of the B string, all of these notes are the same. Right? I don't need to go back and tell you guys. We know this already. But what is this note here when I put my 3rd finger on the 3rd fret of the B string? That's D. So that's a 5. So we're replacing that B, the 3, with another 5. So that's why we can still call both of these G chords. Okay, this is a question I often get asked for my private students. They ask, well, why is that? And that's the reason. Okay, so this is the version of G that they use for the verse. It's great and big and full. It sounds great. Okay, so now what we're going to do here is we're going to go to this D over F sharp next. Now, if we have a look at this, we recognize this D chord. We've seen it before, beginners, right? It's one of the first chords that we learn how to play. It's awesome. However, I'm doing something else. I'm using my thumb. Okay. I was watching through the live version of this video, and if you guys YouTube Plush Acoustic Live, you will hear the exact version that we are going over today, and you will see this thumb happening. Okay. So this is gonna feel a little strange at first. I know this, but you will get used to it. You don't want to press crazy hard, okay? Even if you give just slight pressure, you'll still be able to get that F sharp. And that F sharp is here, 2nd fret E string, right? Because F sharp and E are a whole step apart. So it's F sharp, okay? So with this, you want to hook your thumb over. Just barely. Press, but not too hard. You don't want to squeeze the neck, right? We don't want to do that. So press just enough to where you get the pitch and it's not going to buzz, okay? Still get close to that fret without touching it, because the second we do, hear that? We do not want that. See how I'm on top of the fret? Now if I go back just a little bit, clear as a bell, okay? So that's what we're looking for here. So lucky for us, the D chord is exactly the same as we would play, right? Just all we're doing now is we're adding that thumb. So go ahead and curl that thumb over. Okay, so let me see if I do this. You're gonna be hitting the string towards the middle of that thumb. You're not doing this. You're not hitting it with the tip of the thumb. It's more the middle of the thumb, okay? The middle of where you would do like a thumbprint. Okay, so just want to mention that. That's how we get there. If you could see with my grip, I'm doing it a little more closed. This part of my hand is up against the back of the neck here when I grip this. But if you find it's a little more comfortable for you to kind of ease up and have some space in between your palm and the fretboard, or the neck, with the back of the neck, then go ahead and do that. Totally cool. All right, so let's go ahead and switch between these two chords, so G and D over F sharp, okay? All right, let's do that a little slower. Let's keep the strumming to minimum here. All right. Just like that. You can do it. Okay, seems scarier than it is. Again, is it going to feel awkward? Yes. But you'll get used to it. And then, once you get used to that, the sounds that, Hendrix gets or Stevie Ray Vaughan, right? They use their thumb a lot in their playing. So this is a really cool tool to use too. You'll see it a lot in blues and rock, is the use of that thumb in the bass, okay? Leave some other fingers free to do other cool stuff and other cool voicings of the chord, okay? All right, so there we have it. So that's how we do that. Again, it's gonna feel awkward, but you guys will be able to handle it. So comes to our F chord here, and it's a bar chord. I don't want you playing this one, because again, there's some really cool stuff happening with the bass lines, like the slash chords in this song, right? We're getting a lot of cool movement in that bass, so I really want us sticking to a lot of the roots on that low E string, okay? So that's why. Could you? Yes. I don't think it's gonna sound as good, and when you watch them do this live, it's a bar chord. Do not fear the bar chord. So let's go ahead and talk about that for my beginners here. Start with the first finger, right? Building that foundation of that first finger, building that bar, something that will help here. The relationship between your first finger and your thumb are essential with building your bar chords. I don't care if it's all the way up here or all the way down here. Having that pinch, thinking of it like a crab or a lobster, right? So using that to your favor here, pushing through, okay, that neck. These two, really important relationship here. So with that first finger, use the frets as a guide. We want to be perpendicular. We don't want fingers that do this with our bar chords, because then that allows us to, right? We get chords that don't sound as nice and clear. So use those frets as a guide, staying perpendicular with those frets. So building the bar first is what I suggest, then going in and putting the rest of the chord in afterwards, okay? So the three notes in this chord of F are gonna be F, A, and C. Again, 1, 3, 5, right? So there they are. Your first finger should be on the first fret of the E string. That is your F. third finger is going to be on C, 3rd fret, A string. Pinky finger is playing F on the 3rd fret of the D string. Second finger goes down here, 2nd fret of that G string. There is your A, okay? And your first finger is also pressing on the 1st fret of the B string, which is C, and then the 1st fret of the E string, which is F. So I get it. These two in particular, right? Those are gonna take the longest to get nice and clear, but stick with it. You can do it. I know this chord is a pain in the butt for a lot of you, but it is worth the effort, I promise, which is why I picked this song too, because it's got lots of cool bar chords in it, okay? So here we go. We're gonna do our G chord. Remember, G, B, D. Our D over F sharp, D, F sharp, A, with our F sharp in the bass, and then our F chord, F, A, C. Okay, so those are all the building blocks. We just talked about them. So here we go. Let's do those 3 chords. Okay, let's do that one more time. We're going to get some relief with the next chord. Guess what? Next chord is C. Yes, next chord is C. Let's get some relief from that F bar chord, okay? We're going to go to our C chord here. Now, I'm gonna have you do something that I usually tell you to not do in these lessons. I want you to play that E string open with this. So this chord technically is called a C/E, or C over E, right? We have that E in the bass. Similarly to how we had this D chord and we had the F sharp in the bass, we're gonna do the same thing here. So play the C chord, but instead of strumming from the C, 3rd fret of that A string downward, I want you to strum from the E string. So play all 6 strings. So that's our C over E, really, really dark. And again, those of you just tuning in and you're in standard tuning and you're like, I don't sound like you, Angela, something's happening. Don't worry, I'm tuned down a whole step. My friends who are on here who started at the beginning, put the whole step tuning down so folks who are just tuning in know what the tuning is for this song, okay? So we're gonna go through these first 4 chords. Here we go, nice and slow. I'll build up the speed. Again. Oh my God, Angus Simpson sounds like Don't Go Chasing Waterfalls. A good test, doesn't it? Another awesome 90s song. Oh my God, it totally does. Now I'm gonna have to look at the chords after this. That is hilarious. Thank you, Angus. That's great. All right, so here we go. So those are the first 4 chords. Now, once we get to the C, it's quick relief, right? But then we go to a chord that's a little bit difficult. So this chord is, as I mentioned at the top, is going to be an E flat major 7 over G. And it sounds like that. I love major 7 chords. They are so jazzy and beautiful. Now, what makes a major 7 chord different than a regular major chord? Well, we add one more note to that, okay? So with a major chord, we have the 1, 3, 5. But in a major 7 chord, we add a 7 too. So we have a 1, 3, 5, and a 7. Okay, so in this case, with this E flat major 7, let me go ahead and have you play in this first, and then we'll talk about the notes. So your first finger, I want you to bar everything. Pretend that we're doing a bar chord. Okay, so that first finger, I want it barring across the 3rd fret of the guitar. Okay, so just like that. All right, so kind of press down. That's what we want. It's not the chord we want just yet, but that's the placement I want you guys doing, all right? So now what we're gonna do here, you're gonna get your 3rd finger. For my beginners, it's gonna be a little difficult, but stick with me, you can do this. Get your 3rd finger on that 5th fret of the D string, okay? That's your G. Your pinky finger, reach up, you can do this, okay? Put it on the 6th fret of that A string. That's your E flat. Okay, that's your E flat. And notice here, my first finger is across all 6 strings, right? Right here, this is my G. So that's the slash, right? So my E flat major 7, and then there's my G. Okay, so let me talk about these chords. Now that I have your hand in this position, again, thumb placement, very important here. If your thumb is all the way up here like mine is, this is gonna be impossible to play. So put that thumb in the middle of the neck, okay? Again, that relationship between that first finger and that thumb, super, super important here, okay? So here's how that's a really good way to get this chord sounding good, sounding clear, thumb in the middle of the neck, pushing through, thumb and first finger. Okay, so let's talk about the notes of this chord all the way down. So 3rd fret of that E string, that's your G. Your pinky finger on the 6th fret of the A string, that's your E flat. Your 3rd finger here on the 5th fret of that D string, that is G, okay? Your first finger is also playing the 3rd fret of the G string, B string, and E string, okay? So 3rd fret of that G string, there's your B flat. Your first finger is playing D, that 3rd fret of the B string, and then you're playing G, 3rd fret, E string. So if I play this, that's that E flat major 7 with the G in the bass, right there. Not here, here. Okay, so first finger, and again, this is a bit of a workout. So when you guys are practicing this, again, Daniel, yes, I love that. Practice, practice, practice. If you're feeling his hand's starting to feel a little tender, walk away for a minute. Just do some nice stretches. Again, like this is like the wave, right? This is a good one to get the blood flowing. This is one I tell my private students to do a lot, right? And even a one-handed clap. Again, let me do that towards camera. There we go. So just like that, squeeze, release. It's a really good one to use too, okay? So I'm gonna do this slow. We're gonna go in and I'll do a bit of commentary going from that F to C over E to, again, that E flat major 7 over G, okay? So we've got F bar chord to our C. First finger, I'm doing this so super, super slow. C chord with the E in the bass. Get the first finger, put that across, part 1. Get your 3rd finger, put it on the 5th fret of that D string, part 2. Pinky finger goes up 6th fret of the A string, E flat, part 3, strum. Okay, so just like that. So let's do that again. Let's do that again, slow. Just like that. Again. Again, it's a bit of a reach. If you have high action on your acoustic guitar, it's going to be a little tough, but you can do it. You can do it. Now to speed. Now let's do it from the top, from the G chord. There it is. Again, tough chord to get to, but you can do it. Sounds really, really cool, okay? So that's what's happening there. Again, we are tuned down a whole step for this song, okay? So tuning your guitar, every string down a whole step. So here we go from the top of that verse, G. F, C over E. Flat major 7 over G. Okay, again, one more time, let's build up the speed a little bit more here. Okay, so after this, you're gonna go ahead, play your F chord, then to G. Okay, so an important thing here I do want to mention, as far as the strumming goes with this song, notice how I'm keeping my hand moving. I'm staying very percussive here. This is not a song where you just kind of strum a little bit and then strum here. Keep it moving. I want you thinking like a drummer here, okay? Be very, very percussive. Keep that hand moving. Something I tell my students too, when you're listening to a song, and I want you to play along to this one, particularly this song here. try your best to play along. Feel the movement of the song, right? That rhythm of the song. It's really, really great and really cool. So keep that hand moving, that strumming hand, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and do the verse again. I'm gonna do it a little bit faster here. So I'm gonna do the entire verse. So here we go. See what I mean? Also, what's really cool is, and it's in the song already, so I encourage you guys to listen back to this. When he goes, he plays that C chord, right? The C over E. So let me start with F. And then we're at our C chord. There's a part where no chord is being played. It's very percussive, which gives you room to go ahead and gives you time to play that E flat major 7 over G, okay? So, good stuff, right? So let's do it from the top here. Let's do our intro. Let's do our verse. After that, I'm going to go ahead and go into this pre-chorus here, okay? So here we go. From the top. Right, you got the drum beat. Verse. We're gonna repeat this. There it is. Good stuff, right? So that's our intro, that's our verse. So let's get to our pre-chorus. Pre-chorus, we get a little bit of relief in those hands too. So here's the pre-chorus. Okay, so we're gonna play that here. Again, a little bit of relief when it comes to this part. Really fun part to play. And I feel it. So that's that part. And I feel it. And then we go into the chorus. Okay, so here's how we play this. You're gonna go ahead. We're not gonna play the full on D chord. We're not gonna have that third, that F sharp in there. We're gonna play a D5. So what is this? Right? D5. All we're gonna do, I'm gonna lift that middle finger up, okay? Try not to hit the E string. That we don't want, that's an E sus2. We want to stop the strum at that B string. Just like that. We don't wanna hit the E string. We don't wanna hit it, it's a different chord. Okay? So, we go ahead and do this again. Just like that, D chord without the middle finger, just playing a D5, so it has only a D and an A in it. Keep your third finger where it is, okay? So, third finger, third fret of the B string, that's your D, okay? Your G string, open, okay? That D string, it's gonna be muted by this part of our finger, of that second finger, because that second finger is playing C at the third fret of the A string, okay? So here's that move. Cool, right? We hear this in a lot of stuff. Just like that. It's awesome. I just love those chords together. All right, one more time. Give me an upstroke, then we're gonna go to this G over B. All we're gonna do here, again, keep the third finger where it is. This is our pivot point, okay? This is our pivot point. Notice how that third finger is not moving at all between these three chords. I'm gonna do that again. See how it didn't move? Pivot point, keep it there. It's gonna make, why lift it up when you have to put it right back down in the same place, right? So keep it there, keep it there. It's gonna make switching between your chords a lot better. So here we go. Now after this, go back to that, put that second finger on that C note, 3rd fret A string, just like that. So that's the pattern, let's do it again. Just like that. And I feel it. That's where that part comes in. Again, notice, strumming hand keeps moving. Think like a drummer. So tasty. Such a taste. Just such a fun song to play. It's great. So that's the pre-chorus. Okay, so what I'm going to do here, just a little bit of an abridged, right? I'm going to take all 3 parts that we have learned so far, shorten them just a little bit so you guys can get an idea of how it all comes together. So here we go. So from the top, intro. A little slower. Verse. Pre-chorus. Good stuff, right? So those are the 3 parts. Now we have a chorus left to learn, and we have a really heavy part at the end to learn. So this is a total of 5 parts here. Again, if you haven't heard this song, I encourage you guys to listen to it. It's such a great tune. A super fun one to play live. I play this one live a lot, and I love hearing people sing this one. It's great. It's such a fun one to play. It's really, really cool. So getting questions on guitars and strings and all that stuff. Again, as far as pickups are concerned and preamps and all that good stuff, I am using my Fishman RS Spectrum DI. I'm also using the Fishman Loudbox Performer amp. They're both great. The silver box you guys hear me talk about, I do not leave my house without that pedal. I love it. As far as the pickups here, we have the Matrix Enhance pickups by Fishman. And again, want to thank the folks at Fishman for helping me do these every week. It's so fun. Get to chat with you guys and teach you guys how to play some of my favorite songs. So it's good stuff. As far as the guitar goes, this is my O 17E in Black Smoke by Martin Guitar. Love this thing. Such a great guitar. I love how it sounds in this drop tuning too. It's really cool. It's really, really cool. So that's what's happening. As far as strings go, I am using D'Addario Nickel Bronze Lights. Love these. Glad you guys are liking the STP. Yes, Harry, I'll be definitely teaching more STP. Do I gig? I gig all the time, yes. So I am based out of Los Angeles. You guys can visit my website, angelapetrillimusic.com, and see when I am playing in a town near you. Reason why I was out of town the last 2 weeks is I was in Austin playing some shows. So I go to Austin quite a bit and play. Reckless 575, always thank you for always letting people know the tuning. Appreciate it. The show was great. It went really, really well. So you guys can visit my Instagram, Angela Petrilli Music. I encourage you guys to follow that too. And you guys can see some clips from the show. It was a lot of fun. Played some of my favorite tunes that night, so it was great. Played with a band called The Capitol, and they absolutely rocked. They were awesome. So shout out to those guys in The Capitol too. Really, really great band out of Austin. So that is the tune here, okay? So we've gotten through the intro, we've gotten through the verse, we've gotten through the pre-chorus. So now we get to the chorus. Here's the thing. That E flat major 7 over G comes back, but it's okay. We're gonna do this, okay? So you're gonna go ahead and play it. It's gonna sound like this. Again, it's pretty heavy. You can brighten it up by playing the entire bit of the chord. Let's hear it that way. It goes back and forth between those two chords. That is it. That's our chorus, okay? So that E flat major 7 over G, right? The notes there, E flat, G, B flat, D. The D is the 7, and then you have your F chord, F, A, and C. Those are your building blocks, okay? Keep it to bar chords here. Again, I don't want us doing this version of F on these. It just doesn't sound as good on this song. Again, we want heavy, bass driven, all of that good stuff. That's what we want here. Okay, so that's what we're looking for there. That is the chorus. After that chorus happens, okay, we go back to the intro riff. Okay, so now what we're gonna do here is we're gonna go ahead, I'm gonna play the intro, the verse, the pre-chorus, and the chorus here. I will play them a little bit slower so that you guys can follow along. It's good stuff. It's good stuff. It's a lot of fun. So again, thank you guys. And if you guys are enjoying these lessons, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Let's see, I'm a mirror image. There's a little box over here you can click, and would love it if you did. Helps the cause. Tell a friend. We all know someone who's trying to learn how to play guitar, so I'd love to help them learn how to play too and get them started. And as always, I love teaching you guys how to play as well. So thank you all. It's so cool to see so many of the same folks time and time again, and new folks here. Thank you so much for being here. Really, really appreciate it. Glad you are here. You are welcome anytime. Love having you. So here we go from the very, very top. Intro, verse, pre-chorus, chorus, and then I'll close it out with another intro riff. Okay, nice and slow here. Take your time, folks. Know that you can do this. Okay, so here we go. Verse. Pre-chorus. That strumming hand moving to our chorus. Now to our intro. So that's what's happening there. What I would say with the chorus here, keeping that first finger flat and across, right? So when we go to that E flat major 7 over G, notice how I'm just sliding that first finger. I'll do that again. So that's something I really want you to focus on there. Again, it is a buster of a chord, but it is super fun to play too, and I think it sounds really, really cool. So you could play the E flat major 7 here, but it just doesn't have the same effect with this one with the G on the bass. So you could play it this way. I feel it doesn't pack as much punch. I think that G in the bass is really, really cool. But again, I'm going to give this as an option. It's not how they play it. They do not play this chord this way. But if you do want another option for that E flat major 7, you could do this. So just as an option, but know that the first way I taught you is how they do it. So first finger, bring that across the A string all the way through the E string. Okay, flat, again, perpendicular with that fret. Okay, so what we're going to do here is second finger, go ahead and place that on the 7th fret of that G string, okay? That's your D, so that's what makes this a major 7, is this little note right here. Okay, your third finger is going to play the B flat, that is the 8th fret of that D string, and your pinky finger will follow suit, 8th fret of the B string, that is G, and then that first finger is playing that B flat on the 6th fret of the E string. So that's just a regular old E flat major 7. But with this song, they've got the G in the bass too. So again, I kind of like this one better, for this song at least. Okay, so just wanted to mention that. So after we play the chorus, we go through the intro again, we go through another verse, we go through another pre-chorus, and then we go through another chorus, okay? So then there's this part towards the end of the song, and it sounds like this, and it's all power chords, yay, no more crazy grips anymore, okay? After that E flat major 7 over G, it's pretty much smooth sailing here, okay? So it's gonna sound like this. So that's that bit there. So how we do it is like this. So it is a G5 chord or a G power chord, right? Why is it called a G5? Well, we're only playing the 1 and the 5 of the chord. We're not playing the 3rd, right? Because the 3rd is a really important note here. That 3rd tells us if a chord is going to be major or if a chord is going to be minor, because if that 3 turns into a flat 3, it's a minor chord, okay? So we don't give it that option. What we're doing here is we're just playing the 1 and 5. So to play this G5, your first finger is going to go on the G, 1st fret of that E string. Your 3rd finger, place that on the 5th fret of the A string. That's your D. So that is the 5, okay? Now, your pinky finger is going to play G again, but this time we're playing it on the 5th fret of the D string. So it's going to sound like this. Just like that. Okay, so that's your G5. So G, D, G. So there it is. Now we're going to be pretty heavy-handed with the strumming here. Wiggle it. Again, keep it moving. So now we're going to play F5-2, the F power chord. Again, F here, 1st fret E string. C, that is the 5th of F, 3rd fret of that A string, F again with the pinky finger, 3rd fret of that D string. Okay, here we go. Just like that, not too bad. Now, this was the part when I was watching the live version, they would always cut it before I can tell what C he was doing. It's like, is it this one? Is it this one? So I'm pretty sure it's this. I'm pretty sure it's this. You could also play it like this too, but pretty sure it's this one. So again, whenever I can give you guys different options and different inversions, I will. But yeah, I think, pretty sure it's this. So regular C chord, we're gonna get some relief, yes. However, we're not gonna play the whole thing, okay? So you're gonna do the E string open again, just like we did in the verses. We're gonna do it again here too. Okay, so have that E string open. You can go ahead and like have the whole chord ready and nice to go. It's a C chord. I'm not gonna tell you guys how to play it. You already know how to do it. So I'm just strumming the top 3 strings, the E, 3rd fret of the A string, C, and the E, 2nd fret of that D string. So I'm going like that, okay? So let's go ahead and do that again nice and slowly here. All 3 of these chords, G5, F5, and that C5, right, with the E in the bass. So here we go. Now, let's do that again. If you want to keep everything looking the same, right? You want all the power chords to look the same. You can do that C here. You could. I feel like it sounds just a little bit high, right? I feel like this one just sonically sounds better to me. But if you wanted to, and sorry, I have something in my eye. There we go. We're live, folks. Stuff happens. There we go. Okay, so you never know what you're gonna get on the riff rundown. So we're gonna go ahead and play that C5 like this. 1st finger C, 3rd fret A string. 3rd finger is going to be here on G, 5th fret of the D string. There's your 2nd C, 5th fret of the G string. Like that. Okay, you could choose to do that. So that's 2 options. So here we go. I'll do option 1 with the regular C chord, and then I'll do another pass with this one. So again, I'm gonna let you guys choose what you want to do. Here we go. Option 2. Up to you. I kind of like this one a little better. So after this, so we do here, we're going to bring this all the way to the E flat 5, right? So your 1st finger, 6th fret of the A string, okay? Your 3rd finger is going to be on the B flat, 8th fret of that D string. Pinky finger is playing your other E flat on the 8th fret of the G string, okay? Should sound like that. All right, good stuff. So here we go. From the top. And then you bring that back, D5, D, 5th fret of that A string. Your 3rd finger is going to be playing A, that's the 5th, okay? 7th fret of that D string, pinky finger, D, 7th fret of the G string. Just like that, okay? So here's the whole part. So at the end of it, right, you're gonna give me 2 good whole notes. To find it. And then into that intro riff again. And then that's the end of the tune, at least the acoustic version. Okay, so that's what's happening there. That's pretty much the whole tune, folks. We did it. We did it in an hour. This was so fun. We got folks asking what model guitar is this. This is a Martin 00017E in black smoke. Love this thing. So let's go ahead and I'm gonna play through the whole thing. Gonna abridge some of it, obviously, so we can get the main parts here. I will let you know what parts we're doing as we get to them. So here we go. And again, folks, if you are loving these lessons, please subscribe to the channel, Angela Petrilli Music. Follow me on Instagram, Angela Petrilli Music, on Twitter, Facebook. Be sure to visit my website, angelapetrillimusic.com. Gigs are coming back, so I am playing places. It is so nice to play out again, and yeah, it is good stuff. And you can check me out on Norman's Rare Guitars too. Petrilli Picks. I do Guitars of the Days on there too as well. I was just there this week and filmed some brand new episodes of that, so you can check those out as well. Again, thank you so much, folks. Here we go from the top. Here's Plush. Here's the intro. chorus. Now to our intro. Now we'll go ahead and do the heavy part that ends the tune. And then to our intro. They don't do that, but you know, there you go. We're the key here. This is so much fun. Again, thank you all so much. I hope you guys learned a lot with this one. This is such a fun song to play. This is a great campfire song. Everybody knows this song. It's a fun one. Again, those of you who aren't familiar with Stone Temple Pilots, I encourage you, please check out their catalog. The DeLeo brothers, man, I think they're musical geniuses in my book. I think they're great. Really, really fantastic, inspiring musicians. So be sure to check them out. Such a great song from the 90s. I will be teaching another 90s song next week. I can't wait. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I know all of you know this song, so it'll be fun to teach. I think I'm going to play it on the P90 guitar. It'll be really fun. It'll be really fun. Again, those of you, if you would like to subscribe to the channel, please do. Tell a friend. Would love it if you did. Again, thank you to the folks at Fishman for helping me do these week after week. They're great people and make some great gear for us guitar players who are gearheads who love good stuff. So be sure to check them out too on Facebook and Twitter and YouTube and all of that good stuff. So yeah, it is just a blast. Again, thank you all so much for being here. Be sure to check out my website, Angela Petrilli Music, for updates on shows and merch and all of that good stuff. And thank you to all of you. You guys help make this show happen. So thank you all. Thank you all for coming back week after week, for new folks tuning in. So happy you are here. Thank you so much. Tell a friend, subscribe to the channel, and thanks again. Be well. Wishing you much success on your musical journey, and I will see you next week. 90s song. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. I give hints within the week what song it'll be, so be sure to subscribe so you can get a hint and have your guitars ready to go for the next week. Again, my name is Angela Petrilli, here with the riff rundown with the awesome folks at Fishman. Take good care, be kind, stay safe. I'll see you at a live show soon, and have a fantastic weekend.